Guys, before we get into today's video, stick around because we got a result just like that. That's pretty good for a new guy. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button and leave us a comment down below. I know there's a ton of things went wrong in this video. Stick around. Today, we're gonna learn how to TIG weld stainless steel. So that little thing you see right there, I bought that off of Amazon. It's they call it coupons so you can practice how to TIG weld. It's stainless steel, and I figured we needed to be able to weld stainless steel to put the turbo on our U-Force 1000. That build, we are still waiting on the turbo as of right now, but it should be coming. It's supposed to be here this week. But I wanted to buy a welder and practice and show you guys that it can be possible for anybody and everybody to learn how to weld. Now, we did kind of go over the top. We bought an esab Revel 215 IC welder. It does TIG, MIG, and stick welding all in one. We're only going to be focusing on the TIG in this video. Guys, I have never once laid my hands on a TIG torch. Not once. Yesterday was the first time just so I could try the welder, get it turned on, get the gas. But I spent years watching welders on YouTube and people kind of teaching how to weld. So all those years I've gathered an abundance amount of information. Now, I'm no professional welder. I can TIG weld, I can stick weld really well, I can TIG weld, it's okay. I've never, I can MIG weld, but I've never TIG welded at all. Just 2 tacks yesterday is all I done. So we're gonna do it in this video, and I'm gonna show you guys what I learned. But first, I wanted to tell you about this welder and what it comes with. It's like it comes with like a starter pack for everything. Like you could weld right out of the box with this thing. The only thing you'd have to buy is a tank of gas. That tank of gas was about $300 because I had to buy the tank. Now there are some things that I had to buy to go along. I didn't have to, but I did. But if you never welded, you would have to buy some of this stuff. So I want to talk to you real quick about what came with the welder, how we have the welder set up to TIG weld the stainless steel, and what we're using. And then I want to talk to you about what we bought for the welder. So we actually bought the Rebel. The Rebel comes with the TIG torch, it comes with the regulator, and it comes with, yeah, that's it for the TIG, except for this. It comes with all the tips. It actually comes with tungsten, and it comes with stick rods for welding stick. It comes with for your stick, the clamp for the rod. It also comes with a nice hefty spool of wire for MIG. And it comes with a MIG gun. It also comes with this thickness gauge, which is actually a really nice gauge for them to include in that. And it comes with, you know, the regulator. What we bought to go along with this welder is, and I'll have links of this stuff that I bought down in the video description. We bought the Pyrex cups because everything I learned, these are very nice so you can see what you're doing. And this kit comes with 4 Pyrex cups, which 1 Pyrex cup is already on there set up. And it comes with, you know, these, whatever they call them. I'm no welder guru, so I don't know. It comes with the O-rings, and it comes with the gas screens. So from what I've learned is having those gas screens is a must. One thing we did purchase is the blue tungsten. I have what's stock in there, but I'm gonna actually put a blue tungsten in it because that's what a lot of people said they really like to run is the blue. So I bought the blue. I don't know the differences between blue, red, gray. I don't know that. We also purchased a pack of Yes Welder TIG welding rods. It's for stainless steel. It's this whole big old pack. It was actually cheap. It really wasn't that much money. But we're not going to be using these today. because everything that I've learned is to do what we're doing, we don't need them. So we can weld without it. I also went ahead and bought a pack for stick welding steel. Now, one of the main things that you are definitely gonna need regardless is a good pair of welding gloves. Now, I have a thick pair over there that I've used for years. They work great. They're Lincoln. I bought these at Harbor Freight, the Vulcan ones. They're thinner because people said to use thinner gloves, it helps you maneuver the gun. Another thing they say that you need to get, so I bought the XLR, the Lincoln Electric respirator. We won't be wearing that in today's video for what we're doing, but I did get it just in case I do a project where I'm doing a ton of welding. So they definitely recommend that. Whether it works or not, I don't know. If you guys know much about welding and know something that I'm missing, please leave it in the comment below and help us all learn. So we're here to learn with you and show you what we've learned over the last few years of watching people on YouTube. I didn't just start watching these videos last night. I've been watching them for years and I've always piqued my interest. So I spent the money to do it. Also, another thing that I've learned is 100% argon is what you want. So we got 100% argon. We're gonna see how that goes. I have one of these already. You guys have probably seen it in my other videos, but I have one at home. Actually, it's at camp. So I had to go buy another one because I wasn't driving 2 hours to get it. So I bought another one. These are real nice helmets. You really can't go wrong with them for the money, I promise you. I've had one for years and it's been pretty good. So another thing they're saying is clean up the steel that you're gonna weld with lacquer thinner. I guess cleaning that up, and then whenever you use a rod, before you use it, put some lacquer thinner on a paper towel or a rag and wipe the rod through it, because I guess these are not clean from factory. So that's something that we learned. Well, that's what we got for this welder. I'll have links below, like a whole list of everything that I got and purchased to do what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna dive in to seeing if we can weld that thing. All right, guys, so we're gonna turn on the welder, hit home. We're gonna use our dial here. We're gonna want this one for lift TIG. This does have a lift TIG function. So that means you touch the metal, you push the button, and you lift. And well, there you go. It does that. You don't want to do that. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Whoops.
I'm new! I don't know what to do!
Should have did that with it off. Anyway, so we'll go in here. We do want to change some settings. So we want to leave it on this. We don't want to leave it, we don't want to use this, because this is you push the button, release, you weld, then you push the button and release and it stops welding. We don't want that. We want to leave it on this, the 2T, not the 4T. This one here we're on, that's what ramps down whenever you release the button. This one here is ramps up the amperage when you hit the button. And we're doing 96 amps. I want to do 90 amps is where I want to be. So let's get set up here, get started. Guys, one thing I also want to say is we have our gas set on about 17 for the flow, which is, I guess, what works pretty good with this. Now, another thing is, because I don't really want to get shocked, I laid out my other welding gloves, my Lincoln, so I can have my arms on those instead of the table, because I guess this thing can light you up pretty good. So we don't want to do that. Without further ado, let's see what we can do. Guess what we want to do here is kind of get that one in, get our gas on. Well, we got a tack weld there. It ain't the best, but it worked. So we want to kind of finagle this to where we can tack weld it. All right. So one thing we're learning is we're definitely newbies. But another thing we're learning is this thing is huge. And I really don't want to sit here and do all that welding. I just want to practice. So we're going to practice on filling in these gaps. See what we can do. And I think I'm going to have some filler rods. So we're going to try that, I guess. And then, yeah. Dude, we did it. We did one. Look at that. That's actually like decent. Finally did one. We're doing it though. That's nice. We screwed up quite a bit, but once I got like the hang of it, let's let that part cool and we'll come back to it. All right, guys, since we're letting that one cool down, this is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a hexagon or whatever, but it's really to practice welding. So since I kind of suck, but kind of got the hang of it deal, we're gonna do this. We are going to, and keep in mind, guys, I did clean the parts. Did dip my tungsten a little bit, so I'm gonna go clean that again. Guess what I did? Dip the dang tungsten. Well, that's why we're practice. Hey, we got a pretty respectable bead right there. That's nice, Clark. That's nice. That's nice. I mean, that's actually easy to do if you can keep the tungsten out of the puddle, which is easy to do if you pay attention. I don't know. Let's try it again with some filler. Just, hey, we're playing around right here, so. Guess what? Okay. Forgot to turn my gas on again. This is different, guys. Come on. Yep, I suck. I suck. I suck, I suck, I suck, I suck. Oh, I'll go clean this tungsten up again. So that's actually really nice. Somehow it got wider as we... No, it didn't, just the heat did. Now let's try this piece. Okay, so that one's pretty good. It starts out really good, gets crappy. Wonder why that is. Guess that's why we practice. Okay. That's a really nice bead. That's really nice. This is getting easier to do. This is, yes. I really like that. Okay, guys. So now that you've watched me screw up a lot of things. So one thing I wanted to say is we continued to keep on trying it, and I noticed that I think I had too small of a tungsten in there. So I moved up, I went from a 1.6 millimeter, I moved up to a 2.4, which is a 332, and I started getting way better results. So that was screw up number one. So I guess I would stick with that, the 332nds. These are cheap on Amazon. I'll have a link down below of everything we did. Now, I kept going off camera. I just kept breaking these things apart in a vise, which they were holding very well, let me tell you that. And I just kept running bead after bead after bead after bead after bead until I got comfortable, and I cut some of my stainless steel exhaust, and that is the end result. So all I did was keep practicing. Now I know this isn't nothing to brag about, but there's no blown holes in the pipe. It'll hold together, and it looks like it penetrated all the way through for the most part. Well, I wouldn't say for the most part, it did all the way around. And it looks, okay, it looks better than I would expect for somebody being new. So guys, I want to thank you for sticking around and watching this. I just want to show you guys that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. We're not all professionals right out of the box, and we all got to learn something somehow, right? We just got to keep practicing. And I know I'm going to have some comments of everybody telling me everything I did wrong. Please, guys, be a little nice to me, because I am admitting that I'm new. I've never touched a TIG other, than now. And I think some of the results that we had gotten aren't actually all that bad for a new guy. So I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. You just got to have patience with that thing and learn the amperage. Now, you guys that have done this before, you may tell me I'm wrong, or you may tell me I'm right. I'd like to know. I ended up, because I practiced on a few different pieces, I kept blowing holes. Now, I did not backfeed this. You're supposed to backfeed this. I didn't do that. Some have told me that you really don't have to, but you should. I didn't do that. But I ended up down at 60 amps on this, and I had to use filler rod to keep it from like blowing holes. Also, I ended up turning the settings we talked about earlier in the video. I turned the ramp where it ramps up to the amps. I turned that all the way down to 0, so it was instant. I could tack weld it instant and then get off the trigger and let the gas cool it. And then I could move over, gas cool it. I turned the ramp down feature all the way down to 1.6 seconds, and it actually ended up working better for me than waiting on it to slowly ramp. It slowly ramped, and it was blowing holes. Once I set that stuff, and again, I may be wrong. This is just trial and error for me. And I'd like to know, this stuff isn't that thick. It actually, right around 14 gauge, yeah, 14 gauge. So it's not that thick at all, and I think the results were awesome. You guys that actually do weld for a living and know what you're doing, tell me, was I right? 60 amps, turn those, pretty much turn those things, the ramp down to 1.6 seconds, so it was a lot quicker. But mind you, I kept the gas on it. I did keep the gas on it. I just got the arc off of it and kept the gas on it to cool it, and it stopped blowing holes. And instantly, I turned it to 0.1 seconds, basically, as far down as it would go almost. And I had way better results. So guys, I'm all ears. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Peace out, and God bless. We'll see you in the next one.